Hello friends, welcome to our channel The Outlier 73 and also welcome to today's topic on GST, that is control ledgers and control accounting entries in the books of accounts. Well, GST portal maintains three ledgers, that is electronic liability register, electronic cash ledger and electronic credit ledger. E-cash ledger reflects any deposit, payment and refund of any tax, interest, penalty, late fee under IGST, CGST and SGST. E-credit ledger reflects ITC, that is input tax credit on inputs, services and capital goods as per GST R3B filed. Coming to e-liability register reflects liabilities of a taxable person categorized in two parts, that is return-related liabilities and other than return-related liabilities. It is suggested that the ledgers displayed right in front of your screen should be created based on the e-ledgers maintained at GST portal. Now, what are these ledgers? Or the question arises basically as to why control ledgers is required in the books of account, or control ledgers need to be maintained in books of account of any business. So in order to ensure proper reconciliation, it becomes important that the ledgers are also maintained in books of account under each tax head. As GST portal maintains three ledgers to record liabilities, ITC and cash payment record of any taxable person, it becomes very important to ensure proper reconciliation that these ledgers are also maintained in books of accounts under each tax head or of any business. And the other various reasons are balances in control ledger, that is e-credit, e-cash ledger as per books of account will always be in agreement with e-ledgers maintained at GST portal. If any liability or ITC remains unreported, or it is over-reported, or it is under-reported or wrongly reported, the same can easily be located and rectified in the subsequent returns. And any unavailed ITC, if any, can be availed within the permitted time limit. It makes facility for the same. Now, let's check what are these control ledgers which needs to be maintained. It is suggested that these ledgers should be created based on the e-ledgers maintained at GST portal. So for input tax credit, e-credit IGST account, e-credit CGST account and e-credit SGST account needs to be maintained. For cash deposit and utilization, e-cash IGST account, e-cash CGST account and e-cash SGST account needs to be maintained. For outward liability, e-liability IGST account, e-liability CGST account and e-liability SGST account needs to be maintained. Now, for interest payments, interest IGST account, interest CGST account and interest SGST account is required. For late fee CGST account and late fee SGST account needs to be maintained. For penalty IGST account, penalty CGST account and penalty SGST accounts are suggested to be maintained. For refund, in case of exports or cess, refund claim IGST account, refund claim CGST account and refund claim SGST accounts are suggested to be maintained. Now let's move on to see the accounting treatment under control ledger in books of account. It is broadly classified under 5 categories, that is accounting treatment for transfer of ITC, that is input tax credit, to e-credit ledgers at the end of the tax period. And accounting treatment or accounting entries for transfer of output tax liability to e-liability ledgers at the end of the tax period. Next is accounting treatment for adjustment of output tax liability with e-credit ledgers on the date of GST 3B filing. Accounting treatment for payment and adjustment through e-cash ledgers. And the last one is accounting entries for GST refund. Now let's understand the accounting entries to be passed for transfer of ITC to e-credit ledger at the end of the tax period. Say on 31st December 2022 for the month of December 2022 to the extent of credit availed in GSTR 3B. So for the transfer of forward charge ITC, e-credit CGST account debtor, e-credit SGST account debtor, e-credit IGST account debtor to input CGST account, to input SGST account and input IGST account. For transfer of reverse charge ITC, the entry would be e-credit CGST account, e-credit SGST account, e-credit IGST account debtor to input CGST RCM account, input SGST RCM account and input IGST RCM account. Transfer of ITC on import or cess, as the case may be, of supply of goods, the entry would be e-credit IGST account to input IGST, import or cess, as the case may be, account. And moving on to the transfer of reverse charge ITC on import or cess supplies for services, the entry would be e-credit IGST account debtor to input IGST, import or cess, as the case may be, RCM account. Moving on to the accounting treatment or the entries for transfer of output tax liability to e-liability ledger at the end of the tax period. What is this end of the tax period? Say, for example, on 31st December 22, for the month of December 22, to the extent of the liability shown in GSTR 3B. Accounting entries for transfer of output tax liability under forward charge. Output CGST account debtor to output CGST account debtor, output SGST account debtor, output IGST debtor account debtor to e-liability CGST, to e-liability SGST account, to e-liability IGST account. In case of export with payment of tax, output IGST account can be replaced with output IGST export account. For transfer of output tax liability under reverse charge, that is RCM, the entry will be output CGST RCM account debtor, output SGST RCM account debtor, output IGST RCM account debtor to e-liability CGST RCM account, e-liability SGST RCM account to e-liability IGST RCM account. In case of RCM liability on import or cess supply of services, output IGST RCM can be replaced with output IGST import or cess RCM account. Moving on to the treatment for adjustment of output tax liability with the e-credit ledger on the date of filing of GSTR 3B filing, the entry should be passed only to the extent of liability set off with ITC in GSTR 3B. Entry for adjustment of forward charge output tax liability would be e-liability CGST account, e-liability SGST account, e-liability IGST account debtor to e-credit CGST account, e-credit SGST account and e-credit IGST account. After adjustment of forward charge output tax liability with the e-credit balances, if any shortfall exists, then the same is to be discharged in cash through e-cash ledger along with the payment of interest, late fee, etc. Of course, if any. It is very important to note that RCM liability can only be made through e-cash ledger. The balance in e-cash ledger is first used by the portal for set-off of RCM liability and the balance for set-off of other liabilities. Now, moving on to the accounting treatment or entries for payment and adjustment through e-cash ledger. Entry for the payment of shortfall in forward charge liability, RCM liability, interest, late fee, etc. through e-cash ledger. The entry would be e-cash CGST account data, e-cash SGST account data, e-cash IGST account data to bank account. Now coming to the entry for adjustment of RCM liability with balance in e-cash ledger, the entry would be e-liability CGST RCM account data, e-liability SGST RCM account data, e-liability IGST RCM account data to e-cash CGST account, e-cash SGST account to e-cash IGST account. Entry for the payment of entry for the adjustment of shortfall in forward charge liability with balance in e-cash ledger. The entry would be e-liability CGST account data, e-liability SGST account data, e-liability IGST account data to e-cash CGST account to e-cash SGST account, e-cash IGST account. Now, entry for adjustment of interest payment with balance in e-cash ledger. The entry would be interest CGST account data, interest SGST account data, interest IGST account data to e-cash CGST account to e-cash SGST account to e-cash IGST account. Going on to the adjustment entry of late fee with balance in e-cash ledger, the entry would be late fee CGST account data, late fee SGST account data, late fee IGST account data to e-cash CGST account to e-cash SGST account to e-cash IGST account. Let's move to the accounting entries for GST refund. It is broadly classified into without payment of tax and with payment of tax. When refund is claimed against exports made without payment of tax against a letter of undertaking to the extent of refund claimed through GST RFD 01, the entry would be when the refund is claimed, the entry would be refund claim CGST account data, refund claim SGST account data, refund claim IGST account data to e-credit CGST account to e-credit SGST account to e-credit IGST account. And when the refund is actually received, the entry would be bank account data to refund claim CGST account to refund claim SGST account to refund claim IGST account. Now, moving on to the accounting treatment when refund is claimed against exports made with payment of tax. Well, shipping bill is treated as refund application and the payment is released by the customs. So the entry at the end of the tax period would be refund claim IGST account data to IGST refundable account. And when the refund is actually received, the entry would be bank account data to refund claim IGST account. Thank you friends for watching this video till then. I kindly request you to subscribe to this channel and also share this video among your friends. Thank you.